Hold on for a second. What's up, YouTube family? I would like you guys to make sure you like and subscribe to our video. It would help us get into the algorithms so we could be seen and bring more engaging content to you guys. So like I said, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Appreciate you. And welcome to another edition of the Pick and Downs podcast. I'm your host, per usual, Sean Tyson, here with Zoo and P-Bush. How you fellas doing?
Man, oh man, what a Monday night game. I mean, yeah, I was trying to tell all of my friends and family, man, I'm like, guys, temper your expectations, man. Even when they were up 17-6, I was like, oh, the pick six was hype. I was like, okay, that's good for the defense because, man, that defense has been porous for a few years, and that's very anti-Chicago Bears. So it's good to see them fighting a little bit. Then they just couldn't get off the field in the fourth quarter, and they were absolutely gassed. But, man, oh, man, the Bears will be the Bears, man. You can change the GM. You can change the head coach. You can change the quarterback. You can change the whole offensive line. Weapons. Don't matter, man. The Bears will bear. And, you know, Caleb had some good moments. I think a lot of people were praising his first quarter, man. It is what it is, man. He looked like a manic out there. I think Kyle Brandt said that today, and I thought that was a great way to put it. He doesn't seem poised, even when he had a good drive. He's just in shambles all the time, man. And just gave me flashbacks to what Justin Fields was like. And then look at what Justin Fields did.
He looked like a different guy. I didn't even recognize him.
He's going to win me my best ball leagues, man. I got Garrett Wilson and Justin Fields stacks in both of them. And I'm like, all right. I was nervous for a minute, but it's looking good. So it was a fun week one, man. Very weird on a fantasy front. A lot of very low-scoring games. Some
For sure.
Absolute duds from first-round picks, especially on the wide receiver front, man. So, you know, it was the ups and downs, Bears, you know, but everyone's got to stop with all the overreactions on any team. I know we're going to talk them because it's still fun, but it's just week one, man. People are getting their legs underneath them, new coaches, more players getting used to the game. It's a long season.
Absolutely, absolutely. For this week one, we saw some weirdness. We saw some greatness in a couple of games, like wow, and we saw some blowouts that I didn't really expect. So we saw a little of everything, obviously fantasy-wise. Kind of a low-scoring week. Usually, historically, week ones, usually people are getting themselves together. Like you're going to see some rust for a lot of players, but some players just win MVP and they just come back and looking like they're going for another MVP. So there's special players like that. And there's other players that look kind of rocky without their offensive coordinator out there. You know who I'm talking about. That's all I got to say about Mr. Goff guy. So that's all I got to say. But shout out to fantasy football because Monday Night Miracle. Oh, my Monday Night Miracle. I almost went 4 for 4. But Colson Loveland couldn't join the party because Caleb Williams couldn't throw it to the tight end. But 3 out of 4, I'll take that on the Monday Night Miracle. Shout out to the Bears defense with that pick six because that was.
We got a pick six, man.
Oh, that was like okay, I got it. Like it's a beautiful thing when you see you got the Bears defense. You need 11, 12 points, and then they give you a pick six. I'm like, no, they almost blew it.
And you called it.
Yeah, you called it. I was like, I need a pick six for them to get it done because man, I cannot rely on this team holding this Vikings team to no points, but. Shout out to the Bears for getting that pick six, but they couldn't do much for themselves after that.
At home.
You know, the clip that's been circulating of Micah chasing down Jared Goff, it literally just reconfirmed everybody's theory about like, yo, he is true. Him and Stafford are like truly the last of a dying breed. Like it's like once they retire, there's not going to be enough quarterbacks. It is not to say that people can outrun Micah. I'm just saying how unathletic and how fast Micah closed in on him, it just made you kind of like, whoa, look at the Detroit Lions. And you know, also their offensive output was, I mean, I won't say it's putrid, but it wasn't good.
Worse than the Bears.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. So it's like you combine those two things. It's like if you're a Lions fan, you know, you're probably waking up like, what are we getting ourselves into this weekend? But you know, speaking of the first week, Peeper's kind of hinted to it, man. There's a lot of people making proclamations. They do it in college football, really any sport when the first week of the NBA season. Everybody has these ideas of how they think it's going to go. There's going to be teams that false open. There's going to be teams that are down and up. So, Peeper, I want to start with you. What is your whether it's an overreaction, more praise should be going this way, what is your reaction to week one?
couple guys. I mean, I'll save the Jared Goff discussion over there. I know he's chomping at the bit for that one. So easy pickings right there, Zoo. But a couple quarterbacks, man. I mentioned one of them last week. That I don't say this is an overreaction. I thought they backed it up. Michael Penix, man, he looked fantastic. I mean, Drake London, if he catches that ball, I know it was a difficult catch, and then he ended up hurting his shoulder. They're talking about winning the game. Man, that Air Jordan moment when he reached, how he made it, man. Looking at where the freeze frame is from like where he leaves the ground, and you're like, there's no way he gets another 2-3 yards, whatever it was. And funny enough, you know who ran a beautiful route on that play and got wide open? It was Kyle Pitts, man. He put the guy in a blender and the guy fell over.
I remember that.
Just looked up. He would have had an easy touchdown pitch and catch, but either way, that was a great game. Younghoe Koo, man, talk about a guy that's usually extremely
missing the clutch field.
It happens, man. Maybe nerves of the first week, but like I said last week, I thought it'd be a little bit more high scoring than it was. But man, that was a lot of fun to watch. In a game where two prolific running backs really didn't get much on the ground. They both did a little bit in the receiving game, but I was just really impressed with Penix. And on the other side of the ball, Egbuka, man, he's the real deal. I don't think we have to say much more than that.
Yeah, man.
That's what happens when you don't address team need necessarily. You take the best player available. It's usually an NBA approach because the draft in the NFL is longer and you might have more options. But, man, the Tampa Bay Bucs were like, nope, we're getting Chris Godwin 2.0 with a lot higher IQ and a lot more versatility, man. So absolutely beautiful draft pick by the Bucs. And then this one might be controversial, and I mentioned this to you guys a couple weeks ago, and you guys both laughed at me. Daniel Jones, comeback player of the year, man. It's gonna happen. And listen to me, I know it's the Dolphins. I know it's the Dolphins. That's fine. But you watch what he did in that game, and you understand 100% why they went with him over Anthony Richardson. He knows how to read a defense. He can check plays to the line, get him out of bad calls. He's not going to be the best player out on the field. We understand that. And he's not going to have 2 rushing touchdowns every single game. This isn't a fantasy football point, but this is a game-managing quarterback. Sure, you're not playing the upside with Anthony Richardson, but you are going to hopefully limit the amount of mistakes. I mean, he elevated this entire offense that I think a lot of people were very questionable on in a fantasy where Michael Pittman is viable. Josh Downs, if he gets some more looks, he might become viable. Tyler Warren looks like an absolute stud. Yeah. And then we know what Jonathan Taylor is. And when Daniel Jones actually has a good running back, he's actually played relatively well. His best years were with Saquon Barkley. So, I'm not saying that this team's great, but in a division that looked – you want to talk about a use of putrid, Sean? Man, that is tough, man. The Texans look like complete doo-doo. The Jaguars, man, sure, they look good defensively, but, man, Trevor Lawrence, Jesus. And then you got –
he missed Brian Thomas a lot.
And then you got rookie Cam Ward. He looked decent at times. They did play one of the best, if not the best, defense in the league. But, I'm not saying Daniel Jones is going to win the MVP, but he will be in the comeback player of the year conversation, and they will be in that division race. I was really impressed. No matter who your opponent is, they butt-whooped them, and they probably could have done a lot more than they did. So I was impressed with Jones and Penix the most, outside of Josh Allen, just doing Josh Allen things, and Lamar Jackson doing Lamar Jackson things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was definitely a classic. But I'm going to start on a low point. I'm going to start with the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? Because even though they won, even though they won and beat them handily, what I saw from Trevor Lawrence was disturbing. Just absolutely disturbing. Like, they said his offensive line gave him, like, he was not even touched. Like, they gave him the best offensive line performance in week 1. So you have all day to process and make decisions against a defense that is nothing special, a very poor defense. And T-Law did absolutely nothing. Like the Jacksonville Jaguars was more of the Travis Etienne show. Like Travis Etienne had such a great performance that they shipped out Tank Bigsby, the backup, for a couple of late picks in the 5th and 6th round. Because they were that confident after seeing Travis Etienne. And obviously in the preseason, like, people were hating on Travis Etienne. They were like, oh, it might be a committee, it might be 2 Bigsby, like it might be a 3 or 4-course committee. I'm just like, nah, man. This is one of my rare, like, deeper picks, because you could have got 100+ in most leagues. So in most leagues, you could have gotten an opportunity to get this guy who was pretty awesome for his first 2 years. in the NFL when he was healthy. And then last year, obviously, he fell off, but I think that was a little due to injuries, too. People forget. He was a little banged up, and obviously that affected his performance. But when he ripped that, I mean, a 70-plus yard run, I'm like, okay. Yeah, that was like, okay, we're seeing something right there. Because, like, you pull off like that's extremely difficult to do. And he's, like, known for his speed, like, coming into the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And that's his thing, speed, a smaller, quick speed back. So seeing him perform, I'm just like, wow. Like, Trevor Lawrence got no excuses. If Travis Hunter got in there, he looked like he's looking like he's playing like full snap. Like he's like full-time slot guy for him.
Mm-hmm.
Don't really see him much on defense, but so he's like a full-time slot receiver right now. I mean, he's a top 2 pick. Ryan Thomas Jr., as you mentioned, John, like Trevor Lawrence missed him a bunch of times.
A lot.
And he's one of those special players where if you get him out in space, he can yak it for 50, 60 yards. Like he's one of the rare players where one little perfect pass, boom, he could do all the work after. But Trevor Lawrence, obviously, his accuracy issues continues, even though Ian Cohen, I think he did a pretty good job in his first debut as head coach of his roster right now. And obviously, it wasn't the best defense, but the team, I'm like for Trevor Lawrence not to perform in this situation, like he's going to get another opportunity at redemption with the Bengals because that's another defense where it's kind of cakewalk defense, so you get an opportunity to redeem yourself. But after week 1, as a guy who believed in the Jaguars as a bounce-back season, the skill position players look pretty good. Offensive line did way better than I thought for a first-game preview right now because that was one of the weaknesses coming into the season. But look at like the biggest liability is not the head coach. It is the quarterback position right now, which is very, very sad to say because I thought he was going to have a bounce-back year after last year's injury. But like I might just be overreacting after one pretty awful game for Trevor Lawrence, but we'll see against the Bengals is a terrific opportunity to redeem yourself. But if you don't show up against a Bengals team where this team's just known for having a bad defense, like I don't even know, like how many opportunities do you need to get it done?
The O-line will be tested against Trey Hendrickson and Shamar Stewart, though, for sure. Mm-hmm. Like this will be a bigger test than the Panthers, so this will really see how well their protection might hold up.
And the thing is, like I'm projecting a better Bengals offense after the Cleveland Browns kind of put it to them defensively. Like they slowed that offense down tremendously, and if their kicker knew how to kick a football, they would have won the game. They would have won the game. Like the number of opportunities, extra points, and missing field goals in really close range. It wasn't like he was missing 50, 60 yards. Mm-hmm. He missed some money. He's saying he might be out of a job next week because he
just pretty like Jake Moody.
Oh yeah, he pretty much cost them a game where they were playing pretty well, especially defensively. And like
defensively, might be fine tanking.
That's true. But like Myles Garrett, like my God, that dude looked unstoppable. Like he got to Joe Burrow a lot of times that game. Even Joe Flacco, like he still kind of looks like a serviceable like quarterback. Like
where?
Like he kind of just looks like an average starting quarterback right now. Like he actually, like a lot of his interceptions, they were like tip pass. Like
not his fault.
It's not his fault. But the receivers like had it and then like couldn't catch it. So like I don't even blame him on those interceptions. So like I think Joe Flacco is still a serviceable quarterback, but what I saw from the Bengals was just an atrocity. Like really, really bad performance. Like they were lucky to get out to win that game.
Yeah. The Bengals. I only reason why I give them hope is Shamar looked solid enough to be, I think, across from Trey Hendrickson. I think he will be able to do a little bit of something if, like, he keeps progressing naturally. And then the guy, Demetrius Knight Jr., only reason why I know him is because he played at University of South Carolina. He had like 12 tackles, so he looked really active. So not saying the defense, again, like I said, my thing has always been just be in the 20, 19, 18 range, and I think they can make the playoffs. So I was encouraged by that, and I'm hoping those two rookies specifically can get to a point where that defense is serviceable. But, yeah, that first game, if the Browns had a kicker, it probably would have went different. And Myles Garrett, like he is one of the few defensive players where it's like even if it's 2 years from now, I still would give up a lot of draft capital to get him because I think he's going to be still really good. Like he's just a different type of human. But I will say this is more of an overreaction just because of the classic we got. I don't want to say I think. I know. And I've kind of hinted towards this because of the rhetoric I've always talked about in terms of the AFC quarterback like realm. I think if I just put a number, let's just say 4 years, if for the next 4 years I got Josh and Lamar in the AFC Championship game, I'd be completely happy and would not care if Mahomes or Joe Burrow made it. Would not care. I would rather see Josh and Lamar duke it out to get to Super Bowls, those two, versus whatever combination of Patrick, Lamar, Joe, Josh, whatever. Just because of like, and I think it was Ryan Clark, and I didn't agree with the take, but when he was talking about, I think, Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, and whoever, they're not generational quarterbacks. Obviously, he's wrong. But what I would have said, and because I think he looks at generational as like just a physical aspect. But what I think was generational about Josh and Lamar is that they truly are what you would want to build your quarterbacks to be like on a video game. And to me, because both of them are super athletic, both of them can extend plays, both of them can, they know how to duel within, I guess, the confines of the game. And watching that game, I was just like, that's the modern day quarterback, what I want to see going forward. Like, that's no shot at Mahomes, that's no shot at Joe. And I'm not saying they're slouches. Like,
Mahomes ran a little more for his first game. For his first game, he
made some crazy throws. But when the reason why I brought up Ryan Clark is when you say generational, like just in terms of skill set, not in terms of accomplishments and things. Mahomes obviously is a generational quarterback, and he has his arm slots and how he throws the angles are generational. Yeah. But in terms of Lamar's feet, Josh's feet, the sheer physicalness of Josh Allen, the shiftiness of Lamar, like that is just, and maybe it's just a preference, that is what I like to see in quarterback play. And we saw a all-time classic again. It's like I just want to see more of it. I want to see more of it. And to me, it goes back to my point that I said, early in the summer, it's like these guys, it's too many good quarterbacks to just be like, we got to accept that Mahomes is going to continue to win. Like, it could happen, but man, it would be such a disservice if Josh or Lamar. I mean, I know Joe's already been, but like those two guys, especially, like they got to get to some.
They got to make a Super Bowl at least.
They got to get to some, and I would rather it be an AFC Championship game where one of them are going to go.
Like one of the two.
Lamar. Yeah. So I can see that in like the biggest of stages because it's just. That is just elite, and I think some people kind of get onto the whole like, oh well, it's not as, like we were just talking about Jared Goff and freaking Matt Stafford, even though Matt Stafford's a better player. It's just like the traditional quarterback. It's like this new age quarterback, man. I just want more games of that. So for me, I feel like I would rather see that for the next 4 to 5 years. And if Mahomes is a casualty and Joe's a casualty of that, so be it. Like Joe, you got there, you didn't win, and Mahomes, you got enough, like whatever. So that was one point, and the second point is. It is very early, but man, we just mentioned it, I think, before the pod. Do they play this week? I don't know. I think they do. I really want to see the Jets versus the Bills because am I buying into Justin Fields being like their long-term answer? Like, because the thing is think about like his stat line. Like his stat line is what you want for a quarterback like him. It's 22 passes. Really, you probably want 19, 20. Around that range, and then you're rushing. I think what did he rush for? Like 48 yards. Like this pedestrian, whatever. But it's like he's still moving around, probably getting a couple first downs. That type of quarterbacking, like it's like kind of the Jalen Hurts mode. Like that type of we keep your pass attempts low, you make key throws, you keep the defense honest with your legs, and we rely on Braylon and Brees to bring us home or get us down the field. If he can do that consistently, and I know the defense gave up a lot of points, but I think the defense is still kind of good. If he can just do that and stay in that realm, like I like that because, I mean, I don't know what's going on in Miami. Like, I mean, I don't want to say they quit because it's the first game of the season, but it just looks like they just are completely out. Even with the Patriots, man, like it still looks like they're not letting Drake May fully run the offense. So it's like maybe it's because it is still a second year, but he doesn't look like he's making a lot of advanced throws, and it doesn't look like they're fully trusting him with offense yet. So they're maybe still working in progress. So you're looking at the division. Obviously, the Bills are going to win that division, but the Jets, now I'm looking at like if they could have that formula. Now, if you're getting Justin throwing 35 passes a game, then I'm out. I'm not in it because that's just not what he does. But if you can get him in that sweet range, like that sweet range of like 20 to 25, like I said, the Steelers defense gave a lot of points too, but I think they're going to continue to be good. I don't know, man. They could sneak. I think they could sneak into the playoffs. They could.
They could fight for a while.
They could get there. They could fight. And I would have never thought that before the season. So I mean, some would say I'm overreacting because probably like, is Justin Fields going to ever have a game like that again? But if you watch the game, he looked comfortable.
That's the thing. That's the thing. He played with poise, which is something I'm like, I haven't seen that in a while. And he had an ability. Obviously, we don't know about his rushing ability, but if he made a couple throws, like one of those beauties was to Garrett Wilson. I was like, wow, maybe this is that Ohio State connection that people are talking about because he made some beautiful throws. I was like, okay, this is the Justin Fields that people foresaw when he was a draft prospect, but obviously he never fully developed right now. But it's crazy to say, but if he develops with the New York Jets, a program where not there's no quarterbacks ever get developed with the New York Jets, but you showed that they surrounded with a couple of good weapons. Offensive line looked pretty solid. Brees the Beast has returned fully healthy, and he looked like he had that juice, that top end speed that I saw a couple of years ago. Not last year. He was kind of slow last year. Like 2 years ago, where he had that extra speed. I was like, he ripped off a couple big runs. So he's trying to secure the job. He's fighting for his contract, his next NFL contract. So he's going to be extra incentivized. But you didn't mention like Justin Fields looked fully in control of the offense, which is I'm like, it's a shame that they lost because it wasn't really his fault. But like
Aaron Rodgers.
I'm
not buying into that though. That's what I'm not buying into.
You're not buying, like, but he had a great game.
He did.
Aaron Rodgers made like DK Metcalf like pretty much passed the ball to every like. It was like spreading the ball because I saw DK, Calvin Austin, Jalen Warren, Jonnu Smith got a couple of catches. So he was like kind of spreading the ball around to everybody. I was like, oh, man.
It's just going to be his
Johnson stock. That Caleb Johnson stock.
It's down to
it's in the gutter.
It's close to bankruptcy right there, man. It's close to bankruptcy right there.
Yeah. Horrible draft pick. And if you know what's so sad, if you had dynasty drafts, man. Guess who went right before Caleb Johnson in 90%?
Oh, no.
Emeka Egbuka, dude. See,
whoa, jeez. Are you serious?
Oh, yeah. It was like 7-8 consensus. Yeah.
Wait, Emeka Egbuka was 7?
Mm-hmm. 6 or 7.
That's funny.
I know. Well,
that is
running. This is such a stacked running back class that like a lot of people were like, okay. I mean, think like Travion Omarion, Ashton, guaranteed 3. Some people in a super flex, you might take Cam Ward, right? You know, that's a big one too. But Egbuka,
I don't know. Egbuka is.
I wanted him really bad, but no, I agree. Caleb. All right. So with the Steelers, though, I think I'm not saying I believe. Like they're not like, oh my God, they're so good because one, their defense got lit up.
Yeah, they lit up.
Surprising. But maybe the Jets just, week 1 they don't have any tape of Fields with the new spot, right? They don't have any tape of him with Garrett Wilson, whatever. I think the Steelers will be fine in the end. But it's just going to be health, right? If Aaron Rodgers can be healthy, then I do think that he could throw 2 to 3 touchdowns a game. I think he's not the player that he was when navigating the pocket and everything, but if they protect him well enough, they could be in that same boat. I'd put like the Jets, the Steelers, maybe even like maybe the Texans, just kind of like all those teams that are just like, okay, they could do something, but they got to have this, and this go right. And for Steelers, it's pretty much all on Aaron Rodgers. And it was beautiful to watch, man. It was kind of fun to watch Rodgers.
It was a throwback Rodgers performance.
It was a throwback Rodgers, exactly. And Jalen Warren looked pretty good as well. I was pleasantly surprised there. Man, DK Metcalf, he's got to feed him the ball more, though. I'm sorry, man. I'm done with all this Calvin Austin stuff.
Same could say for AJ, Jamar. I mean,
yes.
Jay Jettis, I guess.
Nico Collins.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, yeah,
that guy cost me a week.
God dang. Yes. Like, I wonder, it's like fantasy-wise, and this would be like an overreaction, but like out of all those guys, I already said, like, I think out of all of them, I think I would be the most concerned with Jay Jettis, like him not bouncing back and just having like an okay year. Because I think Jamar will get back with Joe. I think AJ will be fine with Jalen because usually he'll have like an explosion game. I think Brian Thomas is kind of – maybe you could argue Brian Thomas because Trevor did look kind of awful. That was tough.
Brian Thomas he saw that jet sweep where he just fucking ran it in with that speed in. Like, he just has a big playability, and they just got to get the ball in his hands, but Trevor Lawrence can't get the ball in his hands.
So you would be more – so out of Brian Thomas and Jettis, who are you more concerned for?
Brian Thomas.
Nico Collins.
Well, come on, man. CJ, I think that'll be fine.
Their O-line is atrocious. They just lost another dude for the season. They're down 3 starters, man. They have no run game.
Yeah, the run game. That's the thing. They have no, because they're down to Chubb, like Damian Pierce, Woody Marks, who else? Like that committee is. Really
I like Jaden Higgins. He looked good, the rookie that they had. But like outside of that, man, Dalton Schultz. I mean, I don't know. The Texans. I don't want to overreact. They're kind of where I expect them to be with all the injuries that they had coming in. But man, that Nico Collins is scaring me a little bit as a shareholder and a.
Yeah, I'm quite. Yeah,
nervous. I didn't know about the offensive line.
I am quite nervous about Nico Collins.
Yeah, but that's kind of out of his hands, right? Whereas I think Brian Thomas Jr. can work with Trevor Lawrence and just get, maybe work with Liam Cohen. I don't know. Maybe they'll just get the ball quicker into his hands. I think it might not be as down the field.
Yeah, that's
last year.
Like just to the sideline, low receiver blocking. I mean, it could be worse. You could be like, if you look at the team on the opposite side, like, I don't know, man. I think Bryce is. I think he has it's still early, but it's just like we were all watching the game Sunday, and it's just like it's some guys look like they play quarterback and some guys just don't. And I know people love to go to the pedigree of Alabama and Nick Saban handpicked him and he was great, but it's just like there are just like how they say there's bare minimum lines. Like there is a reason why even at like look at like Geno. People be like, oh, he's whatever, but like he's a good starting quarterback. He fits the profile though. Mm-hmm. He's what 6'3", 220, pretty decently athletic, and he's got a really good arm.
Extremely
accurate. And that's just and everybody. If you're a regular fan, you like Geno Smith. He's average, like not like somebody like us who watches like, oh, he's better than average. Like most normal fans, like he's just an average quarterback, like average size quarterback. It's like no, he's like the prototype of what you want for size. And it's like you just look at Bryce, like there's some throws you look at and it's like okay, it's kind of whatever. But then I think it was early in the first quarter, he underthrew Hunter Renfrow, who like beat his guy off the line and like had the space to like basically for a walk in. And it was because it's like the DN's coming over the top and he can't really see. And it's just like I hate when they keep comparing it was a person comparing it on the party. It was at the party I was at. It was like Kyler Murray is a one-of-one athlete and Drew Brees was probably legit 6'1". So like it's like this difference. It's like it does matter. Like 5'11" is a big difference from 5'11" and 6'1". It just is. And it's a huge difference when you're 5'11" and you're Kyler Murray, who could, if he trained, could probably be a 4x1 relay. Like, it's just different skills. So that's one where it's like you could be in that spot. And it's like, if that's the case, the only person you want fantasy-wise on the Panthers is Chuba. Like, everybody else is
Chuba, man.
Like,
maybe Chad made some whatever, but.
He's James Conner, man. He's just going to get a touchdown every game.
Yeah, so.
One way, shape, or form.
There's a lot of, of course, like I said at the beginning of the this little talk we were having, like there's going to be a bunch of overreactions, but a lot of the stuff I looked at is just things I saw from my point of view of like, this is actually what I want going into playoffs and stuff like that. So I think number one for me is just Josh and Lamar, because it's just, that type of football, like it was a perfect storm. It's like that game and in Sunday night football, it's just, that is what you want when we think about premium games, Sunday night football, Monday night, whatever. But like Sunday night that's the type of game you want on Sunday night football. So hopefully the slate, I mean, I don't know what it is, but hopefully the slate going forward on Sunday night is really, really good. It probably won't be as good.
Vikings, Atlanta. That could be a decent game.
Yeah, it could be decent. Battle of the young QBs.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, so, getting into our last segment of the day, we're going to be getting into our best bets.
There is no nobility in poverty. I have been a rich man and I have been a poor man, and I choose rich every fucking time.
And I don't know, P-Bush, Zoo, whoever wants to start it off and go ahead. I went first last time, so.
I'll start off with the shame, man. I am shameful for my pick of the Bengals covering the spread because they were awful and they should have lost the game. Yeah. I watched that game because they were also my survivor pick for my work league. Right? So pick a team you're going to win. I'm like, I think they're going to take care of business. Nah, they almost failed that mission of just winning the game. Forget about the spread, just winning the game, as I mentioned. They should have lost the game. The kicker got it done. And a lot of it was the offense couldn't really move the ball up against this Myles Garrett defense. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, like Joe Burrow can't really do much with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, the guys that he wanted, the guys that he wanted to get paid for this offense. And he can't even get him the ball because the O-line's not doing that well. And it doesn't give him time to get them the ball. So I'm just looking at this roster right now. These are the questions we had going into the year. Like what's the difference between this year and last year? Like the offensive line is still not special. Obviously, the defense is not special. Joe Flacco looked pretty freaking good going against his defense. So I'm like looking at this roster, and even though I believe Joe Burrow is a special quarterback and a top 5 quarterback on this franchise, like I kind of wrote them off this year just because the pieces around him. And after game 1, I thought it was gonna be a statement game against like the Cleveland Browns. This is a team I have as a bottom 5 football team. Like
bottom 3.
Bottom 3. I'm gonna give them bottom 5 just because of that defense is pretty good.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, I'm gonna give them their bottom 5 football team in my projections, and they held their own against a team that is probably gonna be fighting around 500-ish, maybe just squeaking in wild card depending on the records of other teams. But based on their first game performance, like, my God, I was so disappointed in this Bengals team. So, Jesus Christ, that 4.5 spread, nah. Like, not even close. Like, I thought the offense was going to get at least 24 points. Like, they couldn't even get 20 points. They couldn't even get 20 points for me. So that was almost a complete disaster. They actually lost that game. Like, they actually lost that game.
Would have been deja vu of last year.
Pretty much. The Bengals cost me almost $300 last year because I'm losing to a bad team. So the Bengals, thank God I can't pick this team anymore because I'm kind of out on them now after watching that performance. Like, it was not an impressive offense, and the defense was not impressive. So for me, I'm moving on from the Bengals. I'm happy for the Jaguars to get their second chance opportunity this week. So if they don't do anything against this defense, I'm also going to have big questions for me. So that's just for this week. And I got to say, at least they survived. But the spread pick was a disastrous pick, man. But for me personally, I'm going to keep going with the spread picks, man. The spread picks are what my thing is. But for me personally, first week spreads are always tough because of Vegas.
You have no idea.
That's the thing. Vegas doesn't really even know right now, right? Because they're also projecting too. And as good as Vegas is, most of their projections are just based on opinions of others, and then they try to adjust for what they project out bettors are going to do. So a lot of it's like kind of a crapshoot right now in this next game. But in week two is also that scenario of Sean, you mentioned people overreacting or underreacting. Yep. You're going to go either way just from one game performance. You just got to put in your head, it's only one game sample size right now. So just week 1, like we're going to forget about week 1, like and like week 10, 11, and 12. Like the team right now is obviously going to be teamed differently moving down the line personally. So me personally right now, I'm looking at these spread picks right now. Like I see the good teams. Like everybody knows the Kansas City Eagles. I'm like, so I'm going to stay away from elite football matchup. I see the Baltimore Ravens, 11.5 point spread. Like they're going to do the classic butt whooping, but I'm going to stay away from 11.5. That's too juicy. Even I see the Bills kind of interesting, 6.5 against the Jets, even though the Jets offense look heavily improved. But for me personally, I'm going to go with something that I'm going with the young buck again because I watched the Patriots, and they weren't as good as I thought. But I saw glimpses in there. I saw Drake May and some weapons, and I'm just going to go with the betting against the Miami Dolphins. Okay. That's what I'm going with. That's what I'm going with right now because I don't know if you guys watched that Miami game.
Oh, Jesus.
Those Colts. And I don't know if it's just an overreaction, but I feel like the situation coming into the year, a lot of bad vibes, obviously on the field and off the field. Like they're talking about based on performance right now, they might be firing the coach, might be firing the GM. Tyreek Hill, you got a domestic violence case now, so he's being a hooligan off the court and on the field. So like he got demoted from leadership. So there's and Tua just might be washed now. I don't even watch Tua. Like Tua didn't get concussed, but it looked like he might as well got concussed. They might have been better off with a backup quarterback that game. Like the Indianapolis Colts, like are they an elite defense? Are they an elite offense? I don't think anybody had this Colts team as elite in anything. I thought they were kind of probably a below average team going into the year. Yeah, and maybe So I had them as a below average team right now. So for me personally, right now, obviously a divisional matchup. So I think it's gonna be a more competitive game right now. They know the teams really well. I think Drake May in his first game, I saw some glimpses of him, but I feel like the coach just gotta just give him the keys and have him get a leash, like give him the Justin Fields treatment. Like I want to see Drake May using his legs more because he has that scrambling ability where as you should mention, Sean, this is a different age of QBs right now. Like the leg as a threat, even just play action and just setting up the offense right now. So Drake May right now, I think him and when we saw Travion looked like he's a real player in his first game.
Yep.
Like
they are splitting a lot.
They are splitting, but I feel like they're going to lean towards the young players because everybody knows Ramondre Stevenson is just a normal running back. Travion has a little more juice than him. But for me personally, I think Drake May right now is like, this is his second year right now, so I think he has a lot to prove against a franchise right now and the Dolphins, where I think that defense is very suspect. So hopefully with a bad defense, even though it's at Miami, that's the thing, it's at Miami. So I'm picking the road to take.
What's the spread?
1.5. 1.5. So
minus 1.5.
Yeah, so I'm just pretty much -1.5 for Miami. Miami. So I'm picking the Patriots to cover that. So I'm pretty much picking them to win all right.
Yeah,
straight up against this Miami team right now, because even though the Patriots lost in the first week against the Raiders, which is a team that they might be kind of better than I thought.
Yeah, if Bowers is healthy.
Yeah,
Raiders have two really good tight ends, by the way, too.
Michael Mayer.
Yeah,
Michael Mayer. Like as you mentioned, Geno Smith had a great game. He threw 300+ yards. Brock Bowers, they say his injury was minor. So, obviously the Raiders definitely showed a lot more than I thought coming into the year with that offense of treatment. But I feel like this Patriots team right now, this is the coming out party right now. The Dolphins is the perfect franchise to get back on track. It's the perfect franchise to get back on track. So I'm going with Drake May to cover this, and I'm going for it.
Tua's going to have one of his 404 touchdowns.
No, absolutely not.
Hey,
even though Devon A-Chain is awesome.
He's back in Miami, dude. He's got that warm weather, man. You know, you didn't like the dome in Indy, man. 72 ain't warm enough, you know. But I like that pick. Yeah, I mean, picking on the Dolphins is not a bad idea at all. I think also just in mind with the DraftKings, picking guys to play against them. Funny, I think you said Burrow, right? You were talking about Burrow and the Panthers, and then you're talking about taking advantage. My stacks this week, Drake May, I'm doing naked. I'm not starting him with Pop Douglas. I'm not, even though
Hunter Henry?
Maybe a Hunter Henry.
I think Hunter Henry is a sneaky tight end pick.
But here's another sneaky tight end pick. Your boy Trevor Lawrence really likes Brenton Strange, man.
He does.
He does, man.
He loves his tight ends.
So I'm telling you, he's a good sneaky play this week, a little bit cheaper than Hunter Henry as well. Also, like Dallas Goedert against the Chiefs, man. I think he could have a good look. He had more targets than Devontae Smith and AJ Brown.
Don't remind me. Do not remind me.
And you know what's funny? If you read the reports this year, their main focus was to get more looks for Dallas Goedert because, to Sean's point, Jalen Hurts is going to throw 20 times. All right, that really limits AJ Brown. That's why he fell in the 4th round, man, on top of him having a hamstring issue. All right. But at the same time, you want him to also not be chucking the ball down the field because he's not a great deep ball thrower. He's done it at times, and he's
to AJ he is, but yeah.
Oh, him and AJ got that connection.
But that's because it's AJ, right? That's just because it's AJ. So they said, well, we don't really need to have home run balls every time. We just need to get down to the 2-yard line and push Jalen Hurts in. So they throw a lot of short passes to Dallas Goedert. But yeah, no, Hunter Henry, man. You see that one catch he had last week?
I saw him in the highlight.
I think he's a really sneaky good tight end this year.
And, you know, he's in his early 30s too. I mean, he's not a young buck anymore.
He was really good coming out of he's another one of those. It's because he gets in the NFL and he's kind of everybody looks athletic. But if you look at his profile coming out of high school and stuff, he's got the profile. So it's not surprising he's still really good.
He's still there.
Yeah.
I agree. No, yeah, Drake May is the guy I'm looking at. Usually he's the kind of player I would also argue that in years past Justin Fields was kind of like that until he really got connected with DJ Moore. You could start him just straight up and not stack him with
because they have that rushing ability. And those rushing touchdowns, you saw J.J. McCarthy.
Exactly.
Rushing touchdown.
And my 3 last week were Trevor Lawrence, absolute dud. That was a horrible pick. Well, good pick, horrible execution. Joe Flacco, it did just enough. I was able to get enough high-scoring players to get that point total up and break even. But the winner, man, was a naked Daniel Jones one, man. It was just absolutely beautiful. He was cheap, and he was the highest-scoring quarterback. I think Justin Fields might have surpassed him in the end, but for his value, unbelievable return. So this week, man, obviously I do like Drake May. I agree with you. Take advantage of the Dolphins. But the Patriots are also a team. They're not good enough where they're probably going to blow the Dolphins out. So I could see still needing him to throw the ball a little bit, the offense moving. It's not just going to be a complete Travion Henderson, Ramondre Stevenson fest. So that's a great pick. I agree with you, Zoo. On my other stack, man, you already mentioned him as well. Joe Burrow, man. You need that redemption, man. Jamar Chase, if you want to try and fit him in, he's the most expensive player on DraftKings. He's $8,100. He is easily the priciest. If you want to put T. Higgins in there instead, I think that's totally fine as well. But I'm actually really excited about a couple other dudes this week. Kind of, your boy. If you don't go Jamar Chase and you go with T. Higgins, you could probably fit in CD Lamb there, man. I see him having an absolute feast revenge.
After last week's debacle with the drop passes.
Redemption
really
and
bad.
Giants. We've talked about the Giants. I also kind of like Javonte Williams this week, man. I hate to say it.
Javonte.
But he looked pretty good. I know it's just goal line carries, but he still had a couple really tough runs that we haven't seen him do.
But that's the thing. He looks the best and out of that really bad RB room. Because Miles Sanders
fumbling, yeah. That was huge. That's huge for Javonte Williams stock owners. So I like him. But the guy I think I'm most excited about this week is Kyren Williams against the Titans, man. Look, I know J.K. Dobbins, I believe, had the touchdown last week, but R.J. Harvey broke off a couple. I know Kyren Williams is not a breakthrough 60-yard, going to outrun everybody for touchdowns, but the game script is going to be there. They rely on Kyren Williams a lot more. I know Blake Corum got a couple carries here and there just to spell him for a bit, but if he gets even any goal line looks, man, this is going to be a run-first offense. I know Puka can do his as well. But I love the Kyren Williams pick, and he's cheap, man, $6,300 this week. So that's very good value for a great game script matchup. And then lastly, man, a couple guys that I like on the wide receiver room if you want to go cheap. I like Rome Odunze against the Lions. They looked like Swiss cheese at moments. I know it was the Packers. But the Bears also have a plethora of weapons, too, if Caleb can get
them to them.
I agree. But the one guy he actually was able to get the ball to last night was Rome Odunze. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't on a bunch of deep balls, but he was able to get the ball to him a lot more than DJ Moore. And then two guys that really stood out this past week, man, respectively. Ricky Pearsall.
Coming out party. And a lot of injuries. George Kittle is going to miss at least 3 weeks.
Yep, 4. He's put on IR. Put him on IR. So Ricky Pearsall going forward is going to have a huge value, but you're still getting him at a very cheap cost at like $5,300. For reference, Rome is $4,900 for reference. And then another guy, man, this is a guy I'm kicking myself on not drafting with Josh Allen stock, man. Keon Coleman looked absolutely not game breaker. He's not a game breaker, but he might be hitting his third-year breakout year right now, man. And so another cheap wide receiver, if you're going to pay up for Burrow, Higgins, and maybe a CD Lamb, you got to find the wide receiver value, and those are a couple guys that I like. On top of Brenton Strange, because he's going to feast all the targets this coming week, man. Sorry, Brian Thomas Jr.
Trevor Lawrence does love the tight end. I don't know if it's because they're bigger, so it's an easier target, but Evan Ingram.
Yeah, exactly. That's also why Jalen Hurts likes Dallas Goedert.
Yeah, most tight ends in an elite offense, like if you have a capable tight end and your quarterback's really, really good, his tight end is probably more than likely going to be his number one option. So I'm not mad at none of those picks. Last week, I was feeling so good. Saw the Dallas Cowboys. I was like, let's go. Even with Jalen Carter doing whatever he did at the beginning of the game, I was like, it's going to be easy. If you see, he got fined I think 57 grand.
That was an idiot.
But I thought he was going to get suspended. But
I think he should get suspended for that.
At least one game.
Yeah. I think it's the Eagles. I think it's that's the most disrespectful thing you can do. But I think it's the Eagles' glove. I think that's just what it is. They win the Super Bowl. So it's kind of like, we're going to just give them a fine or whatever. But anyways, saw that and I was like, +8.5 division game. I felt like that was a layup. But then I kind of went against my better judgment because the entire offseason I was saying Deebo's back for the Commanders.
Oh, he had a great game.
And he's back. And he kind of had his way against the Giants defense. So I wasn't able to get that money line Giants. I thought that being another kind of intra-squad matchup, I was thinking maybe the Giants could pull it off. But I still believe the Giants,
put Jackson Dart in.
Yeah, I'm about to say they need to go ahead and put Jackson in. I think they have a little bit of a higher ceiling. But this week, so I went one for whatever. And like I said, I had a 2-leg parlay. But this week for me, I'm very high on the Atlanta Falcons going to Minnesota, mainly because they're going to a dome. And also, I think Minnesota is good, but I don't think they're like. I think their defense is good, and I know Brian Flores is a monster, and I think Michael Penix might get whatever, like wrapped around his finger, and it might not be good for him. But I think just the dome atmosphere, I think they have a chance to get that money line. And the two that I'm looking at where I'm like, where do I want to put this last leg of this parlay? And I'm going in between two teams right now. So looking at your Bears, P. Bush, line, just how we were talking about with the Miami Dolphins. I don't think it's as dire as the Dolphins because the Dolphins just look like they might be taking for like it's number one pick time.
Yeah.
But I was not encouraged with it being a division game, how they came off last year. And I was just under the impression like talent. They just got all this talent. They got talent. They're going to be able to figure it out. But I mean, how they looked against Green Bay was, I don't know. Like, I don't even know how to really describe it. They just didn't look great. Like, I only know, what did Amon-Ra have in that game?
Like 6 for like 40 or something like that.
Yeah, it's just.
And the running game was like, I think it's the worst running game ever I've seen from this Detroit Lions in the last 3 years.
They lost their center, man.
Yeah,
that is
and it showed. So
yeah,
I'm kind of looking at that like the 5.5 with Chicago. I think Chicago could cover that. Like if I were to put Atlanta Falcons money line and I were to put Chicago Bears plus 5.5, that puts you at 419. Or you could be, if you're P. Bush and you're a Bears fan, you can go plus 205 on the money line with the Bears and the Falcons, and that gives you plus 729. You could do that.
I don't think
so I'm looking at those two. Is like if I was a bet man, I'd probably just do the plus 5.5 with Chicago because I think they could stay within range. Because I think Caleb Williams in that offense is really, really good. Yeah. And to your point, like I think the receivers could go off like Rome and all those guys. So that could be, a bet. Or I'm interested to see the mentality of the Bills with they've got the Jets coming up. And do I think the Jets can win that game? No. But do the plus 7, I think they could keep it close, especially with the Jets style in terms of how they like to run the ball and maybe shorten the game up. So if you were to still just keep the Falcons money line and then go to the Jets at plus 7, that puts you at like plus 402. So the first bet is a little bit of a better odd, but I don't know.
How much? Yeah,
I'm getting a little bit over my skis with the Jets a little bit. I think I'm getting a little bit too happy with them, but this is a big test because I do think if they show they can, because I want to say that game, yes, at New York. So that's a home game for them. If they can keep it close or maybe show some fight and win the game, that's going to set the tone for the rest of the season. Then I feel like I'd be all in. So I think the plus 7 touchdown odds, like maybe, and I'm also factoring the Bills having that crazy game with the Ravens. It's like they're kind of just like, because I think they look at like certain teams like the Ravens, the Chiefs, as like, okay, these are our tests. And everybody else is just kind of like, if I show up today, if I show up or not, whatever. So I'm kind of betting both ways on that. But those are the teams that I'm centering around in terms of my bets. And like I said, use your discretion, man. Like I said, I'm no expert here. It's parlays. Like I said, if it was up to me, I probably wouldn't be doing parlays, and I really don't do them. But these are 2 legs, so just getting some of those odds out there. Yeah, nothing too crazy. Like I said, I could be doing 10-leg parlays and telling you guys they're going to hit. So I could be doing that with malpractice.
On Twitter for that.
Yeah, that'd be malpractice. But yeah, so again, man, I'm excited for these bets. I'm excited for the NFL season. Like I said, the first week is always overreactions. The first week is always a situation where people are either down and dumps on their team or they're on cloud 9. But that's the beauty of the season. So week 2 and week 3 is kind of going to be more of a course correction of like, okay, this is what we kind of see these teams being. So make sure you guys are tuning into our content on Tyson Talks _. Make sure you're tuning into our content apart from those on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Make sure you guys give us a 5-star review. Make sure you also rate us and give us comments so we can get into the algorithms so more people can find us. And for me, Zoo, and P. Bush, we are out.